Hey everybody, ThrewRedButter here, back again with another beer review coming at you today with another beer from Founders Brewing. It is a variation on their world famous KBS Kentucky Breakfast Stout. This one, 12% alcohol by volume. It is the Founders KBS Double Oaked Kentucky Breakfast Stout. And story on the back says, introducing KBS Double Oaked, our original KBS stout brewed with coffee and chocolate, aged 1 year in select bourbon barrels. When the aging is complete, we then finish KBS on fresh oak to amplify these flavors, thus creating KBS Double Oaked, truly a sophisticated beer tailored for bourbon and beer enthusiasts alike. Well, there we go. I know there are so many variations on KBS right now. This one I had actually never seen before at my store, so I picked it up. Can we get the whole thing in? There we go. Beautiful. All right, so the appearance on the KBS Double Oaked. I don't know why I stretched the word oaked out that far, but whatever. We got a pitch black body. I'm not even getting any ruby red or brown on the edges, just black everywhere. It's about 2 fingers of light brown head. Pretty dense. That's going to stick around for a while. Let's get an aroma on the KBS Double Oaked. Huge coffee. Coffee is the first thing that just bursts out of the glass. Bitter black coffee. Bitter dark chocolate. Definitely a lot of oak and wood, so I'll give it that. Getting more of a whiskey aroma than a bourbon, but, you know. Milk chocolate, dark chocolate. Yeah, it smells pretty good. And definitely getting that abundance of oak in there, so. Promises made, promises delivered, at least on the aroma. But let's get a taste on the KBS Double Oaked. Cheers. I'll definitely say the first instinct, I don't know. The first thing that hit me, there's a kind of a shock of booziness to it. I'll say it up front right now. But behind that we have, again, like the aroma, a lot of bitterness. Bitter black coffee, bitter dark chocolate syrup. Definitely, again, that big oak present. So they're not lying about the whole quote-unquote double oak thing. But, yeah, big wood and oak on this one. So a good amount of barrel influence itself. In terms of the bourbon, like, actual bourbon flavor is there, but it's subdued and it's in the background. It's taking a backseat to the oak and the bitter dark chocolate, but still, it's there. Not much vanilla in there. I got a little bit of vanilla on the nose, not so much on the taste. Maybe a little bit of char from the barrel. It's almost presenting itself in the way of like obviously not smoked as in like a smoked beer, but still there's like kind of a tinge of smoke in there. Yeah, it's really more about the chocolate and the coffee. The barrel is kind of secondary, except for the amount of oak, but in terms of bourbon itself and other like big imperial stout, bourbon barrel aged imperial stout characters you want from a barrel influence in terms of like, char and tobacco and even like coconut, not really here at all. But again, still some smoke, still some vanilla in there. But the wood and oak is the biggest thing that comes out from the barrel. So, again, like the Aroma, double oaked, promises made, promises delivered. So, gotta give it that. Not the most, in terms of mouthfeel, not the most thick and viscous Imperial Stout, which I find very consistent with at least the recent KBS series or even CBS as well. Gets the job done, but there are definitely thicker, softer mouthfeels out there. Imperial Stouts with thicker and softer mouthfeels. Again, perfectly fine, gets it done. There was a shock of booziness and alcohol on the initial sip, but it doesn't really linger or last, and frankly, for almost 12%, actually exactly 12%, perfectly fine, and yeah, after that initial jolt, the alcohol is pretty much non-existent afterwards. You get used to it every few sips. So, sorry, final score, final verdict, final rating on the Founders KBS Double Oaked. 12% bourbon barrel aged imperial stout. Like if you want big bourbon influence, it's not here. But if you want, the big oak and wood presence you would get from barrel aged imperial stouts, definitely big here. So they promised a bunch of oak influence, and it's definitely here. But if you want more bourbon from a bourbon barrel aged imperial stout, go somewhere else. But at the same time, big chocolate and coffee and dark chocolate influence here. So still very good for what it is. So I'll go. Yeah, I'll go like 7.4 out of 10. 7.4 out of 10. Founders KBS Double Oaked. That's going to do it for me through Red Butter. Till next time. Cheers, everybody.